What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another video today, and in this video we'll be taking another look at my collection. Today we'll be taking a look at my updated Alaska Airlines fleet. Longtime viewers may remember when I did the second episode of my collection back in February of 2021, the second installment for the series. I took a look at my Alaska fleet, which, if I remember right, was about 7 aircraft, and now it has grown to 16, and that does not include one that I unfortunately don't have anymore. I actually sold it to another collector at the most recent Airliners International Convention, and that model that I sold was my Horizon Air Q400 Retro, which I've since replaced with the Embraer 175 Retro, which you will see here in this video. I'm also trying to sell a couple other Alaska aircraft, but I'll talk about that at the end of the video, so we'll go ahead and get started. I've got this sorted into 3 sections. I've got the Embraer, the regional fleet, and then the 737 fleet, and then I have some miscellaneous odds and ends up over there in the background. So we'll go ahead and get started. Down over here we have this Alaska Embraer 175. This is wearing the standard livery, and this is the SkyWest release from 2022. I remember they did one back in 2018, and I really wanted that, so I was happy to see Gemini re-release it in more recent times, thanks to their change in release strategies. And then right next to that, I have my Washington Huskies special livery. This was the most recent Alaska model that I picked up alongside another that's right in the background, actually. So I got that in that big order that I placed back in January to get caught up on all the Gemini Jets 2024 releases that I had yet to acquire. I'll go ahead and move the tripod over just a bit so we can see all the aircraft more on their sides. Then next to that is the Washington State Cougars Embraer 175. This I picked up at Airliners International in Kansas City. This is the only Gemini model that I've gotten broken in the last couple of years. The left wing fell out as I was taking it out of the box, but thankfully that was the only damage, and it has since been glued. Next to that is my Honoring Those Who Serve special livery. This I acquired in, I think it was 2021 or somewhere around there. I got this alongside a Velocity Models JetBlue E320, so just a 2-model order that I placed back then. And this has seen some decent usage. I have used I think I used one of the 2 college liveries. I don't remember which one off the top of my head, but I did use one of those as well. And of course I've used the regular livery many times in different random model airport updates. And then here is the aforementioned Horizon Air Retro Embraer 175. I remember hearing about this when they were getting rid of the Q400s. They were going to move a lot of the special liveries that they had on the turboprop aircraft to their new 175s, and this was one of many that moved over. I know they had many more college liveries on the Q400s, but I'm not sure if they still have partnerships or sponsorships or whatever with them still, so the only 2 have been the 2 Washington schools of University of Washington and Washington State. But nice to have this Horizon Retro 175. I love this old livery. I initially thought it was like some pseudo-fantasy, kind of like that JetBlue E320, but after doing more research a few years ago, it was like, oh yeah, this is an actual airline. So love this livery with the setting sun on the tail and all that. It's a nice color scheme as well. Now moving up, we have my 737s, and we'll go ahead and start off with this NG Alaska 738 with the splits from 2020. I remember when they announced this, and I was very hyped about it because I had been meaning to get another Alaska plane, one in the new livery, for quite some time. And if I remember right, I think, yeah, this was my first new livery 738, or 737 in general, to enter my collection. And then that Christmas, I got this, the Honoring Those Who Serve 738, also by NG. And I know Gemini did a more recent release in 2023 or so, somewhere around there, 22, something like that. But I had this NG well before then, so obviously I didn't get the Gemini. And here's one of this is tied for the Washington Huskies 175 for my most recent Alaska acquisition, this one being the MAX 8. I've still yet to get a MAX 9 in the regular livery because the Gemini one is very hard to find, and I don't know why NG won't do another one. It's been a long time since they've done an Alaska aircraft, so hopefully that changes again soon. But this Gemini MAX 8 is fantastic, and I love it. And then right next to that, a bit of a rarity as well. This was released in August of 2020, which I vividly remember when that announcement came out, since that was one of their best of the year up to that point, because the last few months hadn't exactly been the greatest. A lot of like odds and ends that I didn't really care for at the time and all that. But this is the 739 with no winglets, also a non-ER variant, and these are going to be going away soon, so I'm probably going to get rid of this aircraft too, since I won't have much usage for it. I could probably sub it in as a 739 ER at any point in time, but I'd like to find one of those if I can get my hands on it, so hopefully that changes soon. And next to that, this is a model I haven't featured in a long time of my old livery, Alaska 739, which is the only Alaska aircraft that I have in this livery, which is pretty interesting. I remember getting this because quite a few years ago now, my grandparents were going to go on a trip up to Alaska, so I became fascinated when they sent me some pictures when they were in Seattle on their way up to Alaska, and I really wanted to add an Alaska model in my collection, so I was able to locate one. This one was released in, I think, 2014, if I remember right, and I got it in the summer of 15. Here's my One World 739 by NG, which they also made a regular livery at the same time as well. I got this in 2021, if I remember right, that summer. Very nice model, and I've gotten some usage for it as both an actual One World aircraft and a substitute for a 739 regular livery, which I'm still looking for. And next to that, this also acts as a substitute if I need a MAX 9 in a crucial time. The West Coast Wonder / Orca special livery by Gemini Jets. A wonderful livery that they replicated very well on this model. I haven't seen the 1-200 release, but I've heard some great reviews on it, so I'll have to see if I can ever find that one just for fun. Probably won't buy it, but just to look at it for fun. And then now we move on to my odds and ends section of the collection. So this is just miscellaneous Alaska aircraft that I have that didn't fit into any of the other categories. This is my 727-100, which for quite a while, this was my only other Alaska aircraft type that I had. This one is with the Prospector tail and was released by Gemini Jets. Kind of an oddball retro, but I like having those kinds of oddball retros because I'm such fascinated into retro aviation. And then these next two models I did try to sell in Kansas City, but I wasn't able to find a buyer in time, so I still have these two, and if I do have enough space, I'll probably bring them to Atlanta to sell, if I can find someone. But I have the A320 and the A319 by Gemini Jets. I got the A320 in Christmas of 2018, and then the next Christmas I was able to get the A319. But since Alaska has retired these two planes, I don't have much use for them, so they've just been sitting in their boxes, which I have over here actually. I just took them out so I could film this video. So they're gonna go right back into the box once this video is done. And then the final Alaska aircraft for this video, this is my Air Cargo 737-700 freighter, which I think they have phased out if I remember right, maybe not, because I know they've got a 738 freighter now that's flying up in Alaska, so I may have to see if I can find that one. Can't remember off the top of my head if someone has released the 800 yet, but if so, maybe I'll have to find that at some point down the line. That one I got in Christmas of 22, I think, or 21, somewhere around there. I don't remember exactly when that one was released, but it's been a while since I got it, at least a few years. So there you have it. That is my Alaska collection, updated for 2025. So I think for a little while now, I'm going to go back to some of my older videos that I did in like 2020, 2021, see if I can remaster them in a way. So that includes some various My Collection episodes that I did back then when I started the series, and it was kind of irregular back then. And I will also try to go back and do some older random model airport updates that I did a long time ago and sort of redo them and make them look a little better compared to when I originally did them a few years ago. So it'll be a nice project to do throughout 2025, is to go back on those older videos and sort of redo them, remaster them, and make them look better. So hopefully you guys are excited for that, and really happy with where my Alaska fleet is here, now at 16 total planes, which is more than double what I had in the previous My Collection video that I did. So hopefully it'll grow again in another 5 years, and maybe I'll take a look at it again then. With that being said, that is the end of the video. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you in the next video.